One missing on team 2, but that's okay. Well, actually, it looks like one left on team 1, so it is a 4-over-4. A weird 5v5 1v1 duel when it's just 4 people. Maybe looks like the 5th on team 2 came in. I don't really know what's going on. Broton picking up the stars immediately. Look at him running with a star, knocking up Atha. Wait, he did it out of stealth? What? I didn't realize you could do that. Imagine a rogue picking up a bunch of these and going in for a Star Lord like knock-up build. Is that what Broton is going to be playing? He's playing out the new Ana talent, the Star Burst. Every time you Star Fall, you drop these stars around you. You can pick them up and they'll like rotate around you. Big adaptation out of Atha. Woman trying to go for big gamies themselves. Seraphim's up. Got them ability. Broton better get the hell out of dodge. Barkskin is up. Trying to get himself some cast while moving. Does get interrupted on Lunar. So he's actually able to cast the nature and needs to pick up a Star Burst ASAP. So you can have some knockback onto Atha. It's like a Giga Thorns. So Broton better have himself some Star Surges and Starfalls rolling. And pick up a bunch of these Starbursts. I did not realize you could pick them up in stealth. That is funny as hell. Big old roar into Atha Woman trying to go for another Cyclone. It is going to be full of Cyclone. Broton might be able to get himself some resources to go for another Starfall potentially. Might need to go for a big heights away from Atha Woman ASAP. If he can get himself a Starfall, because he does have the Starfall where he can get Starfall do more damage. And he can cast while in there. Thorns is up. As stars are falling, he needs to pick up the Star Surges or Star Bursts. He does have one right here. If he just walks next to it, Atha Woman will have to hit the guy. But Broton isn't really picking him up. So he's kind of almost getting the full build. But it looked like those things actually do quite a bit of damage. Look at that. And as Atha gets in melee, he's going to get knocked up in the air, taking a bit of damage. Broton does go down, though. I feel like he should have... I don't even know. Maybe it's really hard to just, like, find... It might be one of those problems with that build is finding a way to, like, pick up this Starburst while also maintaining your health. It's like you got to do two things at once. You know? Might be one of those weird, like, conundrums that might be really difficult to do, honestly. Yellow Lizard is going to be up next as Seavark with the Arcane Mage, Arcane Blast, and big shields. No triple shield available. Trying to go for a big go versus Atha. Touches the magic, slamming down, does survive it. And it's going to have that slime shield proccing as well. Hodge onto Yellow Lizard, who is playing Shimmer, will not be able to just bust out of those stuns immediately. Makes you wonder what the legendary Yellow Lizard is playing, but I'm guessing Barrage Lego, right? The Barrage Lego most likely. No interrupt. Actually, interrupt available backup for Yellow Lizard if Atha Woman tries to go for a self-heal. Actually, if he casts one, he'll be in trouble. Doesn't do too much damage. It looked like it did a decent amount. It just needs more of them. Big old Arcana Sphere as a Necrolord getting set up by Yellow Lizard. Does he have the big go? Pretty good knockback on Atha. Did quite a significant amount of damage. Big old Flash Scout to follow. Does get interrupted with the Rebuke. As Yellow got himself Palantio Burst. Hodge coming down by Atha Woman. As Yellow still has plenty of damage rolling. Sure, it's going to be Trinket with a big heal. Massive amount of temporal healing. Actual massive amount of temporal healing. Trinket it out at a perfect time. Just took the damage from Atha and temporal recovered everything needed. But playing without the triple shield Lego, he is a bit of a trouble. Because he just cannot deal with the damage long term. He's going to have himself all the time in case Atha got some damage of his own. So at least he can reverse some of that damage himself. Does have ultra time to pull him all the way back if he needs to. I'm pretty sure he cancel it, but now using Great Invis to try to see if he can get away from Atha Woman. When he comes out of Great Invis, he does have a 60% DR. So you can actually use it defensive if you want him. It isn't a 2-minute cooldown, so it's not as long of a cooldown as the other mages, but it is something you could use defensively. Didn't quite go for that. Mostly wanted just to use it to get away and get a bit of a reset. Actually, I might have even used a Massive Invis there as well. Atha Woman is going to get slapped down by the Arcana Sphere. Does he have the big go to follow? Arcane Missile flying with a barrage right after. Touching the Magi, everything. But Atha Woman does survive it. The Slime Shield rolls in to save this Paladin. The Necrolords helping out Paladins? Preposterous. That would never happen. But it's happening. It's actually kind of cool. Actually kind of need big damage on Atha Woman. Does he have anything? But the bubble if Yellow Lizard has big damage right here. Does he have the big go? Shield of Vengeance, just in case. Just had to go set it up. Yellow Lizard does have ultra time rolling. Is in a pretty good spot. Could cancel if he wants to. Atha Woman kind of hanging on by the ultra time location. Looks like Yellow is going to take it. And Atha Woman, Shield of Vengeance broken. His shield has health exposed. The slime does coat him yet again to provide an extra shielding. At least for the time being. Trinkets, actually no, he does have a trinket back for a Hodge. No more Ice Box, so no more immunity for the Mage. Just needs to find a way to just kind of get a setup on him. That knockback for the mage does give him a little bit more breathing room, knocking out the Fleshcraft out of his hands. Not going to be able to get the full value of the shield. And all he have is offensive power. Trick us out of the Hodge immediately, trying to stay as mobile as he can. Just a few more hits needed for Athel, but has all those hammers from afar. He sees a couple of them and he'll be good to go. Temporal up. Oh, massive amount of healing lost for Yellow Lizard. Actually, all the time as the Battle Master ticket fell off and you lost all that health and then he timed back. Is that what happened just now? He like snapshot his health, the percentage health? I think that's exactly what happened. I'm gonna take a big blast as Yellow, I think, is going for the last big go. Shield advantage is up for the Paladin. Doesn't last long at all. There's gonna be Images trying to see if he can slow down Athaman as best as he can. Yellow got the full Necrolord Deathborn go. Trying to make the most damage happen here, but also trying to stay as alive as possible. Just trying to stay mobile and living, more importantly than anything. So far for Atha, it has been a little bit of a rough ride though. Gonna be a poly up for Yellow Lizard with a Hodge to follow. Does he have any way out? I think it might be over unless does have a temporal. At 30% DR, I think it is gonna be, or yeah, at 30% dampening, it might be a little bit rough. Invis into a mount up. Athelwoman had himself channeling. If Fleshcraft decided, you know what, I'm gonna finish the full channel just to get myself a full shield. And so far, the mage actually able to get some food, able to recover. Nova was used on Atha, didn't miss him. I don't know how they didn't miss him, but it didn't. Wreck missing for Athelwoman though. So at least someone is missing. Touch of the Magic, big Arcana Sphere is getting set up. Does the mage have a big go? Atha getting knocked back for a second. Touch of the Magic, shoot slam down. Does get him to about half his health. More missiles coming out. It's going to be ultra time available for Yellow. Big barrage for damage. Stone into Yellow Lizard. Does have ultra time to reverse his damage. Unless he gets super low. Does end up dying before ultra time. Time's out. Can't really use ultra time while stunned. So that was a little bit unfortunate. Try to play it as best as he can defensively. But that was rough. Big Convoke the Spirits coming out for Casino. Does play the 1 minute Convoke. Athaman immediately, or Athawoman immediately, does press a Blessing Protection for it. Doesn't want to take the damage from it for so far. Has a Bubble and a Bop, and we are getting higher in dampening. I think he wanted to trade Blessing Protection to maybe get some damage out of Casino without having to burn like his own self-healing, because we are getting to a high dampening. He's been sitting on a cooldown anyway for a while. Shadow advantage is up. Does he have a big go for Casino to traverse it? From the Thorns, it's going to be a Cyclone from a distance, as Casino is going to go for that clone. Getting adaptation out of Atha. Keeping Christina in combat is important for Athaman. Is going to send the Galvas in. And Christina most likely is not going to be able to catch a reset. Try to go for a big old leap with a Skull Bash onto Atha. Does interrupt him unholy. Atha should have a bubble if he needs to. Stun onto Christina. And Athaman used to give himself maybe a big go, maybe a bubble out of this. Bubbles it. As you saw, some of those buys did not want to have another buy take him out. Next big go, Christina most likely will have stun as well as Convoke. So for Atha, this is going to be real bad. Dropping down Consecration, Christina just going to go a long ways around it. But as long as you can get yourself a full stun into Atha, full Convoke, there's nothing you can do. And there goes the Convoke. Does he survive it? Barely. Big bites to follow. Actually, Battle Master Trinket saves him. Barely any health though. Still super low. Fleshcraft is up. Gets Skull Bashed, and that's going to be done for the count. Daedra up next with a big old Fleshcraft setting up himself. And we'll see where it goes. Gonna be Daedra swapping out to the Wrathguard. Man, he's been trying to make the Shadow build work for a while, and it just hasn't worked out so far. He's been really trying to make the Shadow build work, but he always have to go back to the Felguard. Maybe he has to go for the Felguard at the beginning to get the stun, and then he could swap out to the Succubus later, but he just can't really do anything to Christina, because Pharaohs are immune to the Succubus CC, so you can't even press get crowd control on him. And it feels like the whole honor type just kind of goes out of the window that way. It doesn't get the benefit of the extra shadow damage or the faster cast of shadow bolts either. It becomes kind of rough to play with. Because you try to go for a root on the pet. Actually gets a stun and a root on the pet. Going to be Daedra. Summoning out the pet, swapping him out. Still trying to make the shadow build work. Going to be Christina. Attacked by the Succubus. Trying to see if he can root the Succubus out. And it's going to be Ursul's on the Succubus. Trying to see if he can take down the pet real quick. A stun around the corner. And Daedra does need to get in line to set up Christina. Does hit him with the Succubus. See trinkets out of it. And try to see if he can get the hell out of there. Daedra just sees himself like a good line of sight, making sure Christina doesn't get a reset. You'll be good to go. Skull Bash comes out for the Flash card. Doesn't get the full effect of immunity to CC. And Daedra finally able to get himself at least some Shadow Bolts in. Mortal Call into Christina. Trying to get some Cold Dreadstalker. Needs to get himself a Tyrant up and running at some point. Christina probably has a stun ready to go. Maybe a interrupt. Going to be a stun into Christina with a Tyrant. Doesn't get an interrupt on a Tyrant. Going to be big damage into Christina. Trying to see if he can bow out of there. Plant yourself healing. Even at 58% dampening. But he's trying to see if he might be able to get the hell out of dodge. And Daedra has himself full army of demons with the shadow build as well as the obelisk. I feel like the obelisk should be used more often than not, because that is quite a bit of damage. As soon as you get yourself a set of pets, maybe you get yourself a Vile Fiend, some Peppies, drop down to obelisk. Going to be a Convoke coming out for Christina. No way for Daedra to interrupt it unless he has a honor challenge for it. Fear onto Christina's Daedra hops low. That's going to be a good way for Daedra to at least get Christina off his back. Drain Life is up and running too. Daedra should be able to maintain himself just a little bit. Trying to get a Vile Fiend up and running. Does get disrupted on. Christina goes in for Feral Frenzy. Has a big bite ready. Big old bite. Daedra does go for a gateway. Drain Life has a leap for him and chasing the boy. Oh no. Oh no. That's super unfortunate. Wargren sending out his pet immediately at Christina is going to get him in combat as soon as he sees him. Actually, with Christina, you get your read? He actually got a reset. The pet literally was next to him. And I guess he jumped down. Pet didn't auto attack him fast enough. Did take him out. Christina getting an opener, or at least trying to, onto Worgen with a freezing trap to follow. Worgen making sure he got himself plenty of range to it. Is it playing? There goes. I was gonna say, is it playing Chimeric Poison? Because I would imagine it'd be really good. Does Christina actually able? Is he able to dispel? Okay, we talked about it before. I think Chimeric Poison is a physical debuff that does nature damage, and the poisons themselves, the stings themselves, can be dispelled separately, but you basically wouldn't want to. We're going to try to go for a harpoon onto Christina. Does get the root and harpoon, but the Ursa skipped him away. Christina's super low on health. Needs to go for a big old go onto Wargren. The wall is not going to last long at all. Needs to get himself a Convoke or something. Big old Convoke coming out for the pet. Probably going to be able to take a big bite out of that pet. And is going to be able to Wargren try to catch up to Christina before he can get any kind of resets. Got himself the big flayed shot rolling. Maybe kill shots to follow. Needs himself a stun. Stun out of Christina instead. Trinket and a feint for Wargren to maim right after. Does himself pet sack with a kill shot at the end. Does snipe out the beast. Does take him out. Gonna be free to trap at a Cobra. Gonna trap onto him. The succubus. I still love the fact that you got the mount rolling too. It is so perfect. Sounds of the Cobb as Worgen looking for a bit of a setup on him. Gonna be a succubus. You see with the freezing trap actually got succubus seduced while dropping down and trapping midway, which is actually so good for him. Mortal Coil getting set up. Worgen just eating so many instant casts with the Shadow Fury right after. Emily getting set up. Cobb might be able to get enough damage here. Big executes coming out. Oh, taking down Worgen pretty quickly. That Infernal adding on to that extra damage with a few instant casts and high dampening. You don't, not really gonna get much healing, so unless you have a trinket, you kind of just SOL. Gonna be Kiss God on the opposite team, trying to see if he can get himself a bit of a go. Playing that full curing build. Whatever damage he takes early from the succubus as well as Infernal, he's not gonna be able to heal through it. The Paladin does have a bubble, so at least there's an immunity. But Cobb is trying to see, making sure he gets plenty of range from him. Gonna hit him, not even gonna meet the targeted, not even gonna look him in the eye when he does damage to him. You can just go for a Unbound. Oh, bubble coming out for Kiss God really early, huh? Really early. Interesting. Wait, why is it looking at the gateway? Oh, it's looking at the Daedra. I was gonna say, why is it setting up to a gateway? The Kiss God in that full attire actually looks really good, dude. That Greek attire, I think I mentioned before already, but it looks insanely cool. Kiss God no longer with a bubble. Shield of Vengeance isn't really gonna do much for you at this point. Cobra got himself most likely the tether around the corner. Gonna be a succubus CC trinkets out of it. Hodge of the Cobb does not have a trinket, but it looks of it. Got himself wall though. He's got trying to make some damage happen. Ward of Glories is not doing anything here. Hand of Freedom just trying to see if he can bail away from Cobb. Might be able to maybe get away. Might be able to at least catch up on some health. 96% dampening, so you're not completely dead. Not completely out of the game. 97% dampening, not completely unhealable. At 99, it does get really bad. It does get really bad. And that's going to be a succubus just getting some freebie. Yeah, I think it's over for Kiss God. It's just like, uh-oh. Well, that's how it goes. Cataclysm literally doesn't need to look him in the eye. Execut's coming out. Yeah, at that point, like, all you could really do is just bubble and pop a cooldown and then just hammer. Hammer out the enemy. Iniquity, that's a name I haven't seen in a bit. How you doing, my dude? Iniquity dropping in as a Draenei, Unholy DK. I like it. Bonzo fell around the corner. Iniquity might just have to AMS it. Actually just walks past it as a Necrolord. Is he going to group Cobra back up? Might not be a bad idea. dropping down with him. If Cobb does go up, can you grip him down? Almost had line of sight, so he's missing out on some damage here. But he might be able to go for a big old grip. Chain of ISO to Cobb. Got himself the pet all in power, but the slows from the succubus isn't helping him at all. Cobrak so far has been able to just avoid him completely. Line of sight him until he has mobility. That's going to be a Mortal Coil Ascent. Iniquity, try to hit him with whatever damage you can. Try to go for a gateway, couldn't quite do it. It's going to be a grippy hand available. If he can just keep Cobrak out in the open, he might be okay. But the slow from the succubus is just doing him wonders. Iniquity got himself the slappy hand available. He needs just to get one more grip onto Cobb, but he might not be able to at this point. The slow from the succubus, the Bonzafell doesn't tether to him, but that's okay. Doesn't quite tether. He put it up maybe a little too early, but does have the Inferno to stack Iniquity. It's just going to be free damage to him. Unless you can get Spell Warden proccing, oh, it's just not looking good. Yeah, I think this is where that's just kind of where it went sideways, and now Cobb just needs free executes. Man, with the game going that long, Ather with that Dami, that's a lot of damage. Long match versus your boy Seabark. I actually got so much healing for Arcane Mage. Not even playing the triple shield Lego. Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy.